I am Holistic Jen, and today I am making beet burgers. I had a special request for beet burgers, and I make my beet burgers with lentils and pecans. And so today I'm going to be using 2 beets, a half a cup of pecans that I will be chopping, a 1/4 cup of flax seeds, 2 garlic cloves, nice catch, a handful of fresh parsley, and a half a teaspoon of onion powder and a half a teaspoon of salt. So I have my lentils already cooking on the stove behind me. These burgers do take some time to prepare ahead of time. No, that's not right. You have to prepare ahead of time to make the beet burgers. So I have lentils cooking on here. So you could buy some canned lentils. I did not have any canned lentils, and so I just soaked some lentils, but you don't really have to soak them, but I do to remove those enzyme inhibitors that we've talked about before. And so I just have them boiling on here. It takes about 15 minutes. And then I'm also going to be roasting my beets. So beets can be very messy. And so I'm trying to make them the least messy as possible. And so all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the greens and the stems off. Now beets are so fabulous for us. This dark red purplish color tells us these are great for our heart, great for all sorts of things, packed full of antioxidants. And we want to keep the skin too. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to eat the skin, but there's so many nutrients here in the skin. So we can eat the entire beet. For our burgers, I only want the bulb, the tuber, the part that was in the ground. I'm going to save the stems. I'm going to put them in my juicer. I do like to juice beets, and so this would be a great way to get some in my juice. I could put the beet greens into our burgers. That would be fine. I could chop them and put them in a salad, or I could saute them and just have them as part of our side dish and dinner tonight. So for this dish, I'm just going to cut it off. I'm going to roast the bottom. So I have my oven preheated at 375 degrees. I have a baking sheet here lined with parchment paper. And so I'm just going to cut these. I'm going to cut that little tail off too. That'll go into my juicer. And I'm just going to stick them whole on this baking sheet. It's going to roll around as I stick them in the oven, but that's okay. I can just stick them right back. So I'm going to put these in the oven. Okay, and they will roast for about 20 minutes. So I want them to be tender, and so I'll check them with a fork to see how tender they are in 20 minutes. So I'm going to move my beets aside, the rest of the leftovers that will go into my juicer. And I need to prepare my garlic. Now, normally when we use garlic, I crush it and let it sit so that those chemicals that Allison can combine for all those cancer fighters. So these are going to be cooked, and so we're not going to get all of the medicinal benefits of garlic. We're just going for flavor today. So I'm going to crush it. I'm still getting really large bulbs. Crush it so that I can remove those skins. Stuck to my fingers. There's one more chunk. I'm going to cut that hard piece off of the bottom. And then I'm just going to thinly slice it. Now I'm going to be using the food processor today. If you do not have a food processor, then you're going to want to chop these really small, and you'll need something like a potato masher. You'll get a good workout during this process today. Now, why am I chopping it before I put it in the food processor? I just want to make sure that there aren't any large chunks. It wouldn't be, well, I love garlic. I don't want to bite into a big chunk of garlic in my burgers. So I want to make sure it gets blended up and it's pretty uniform inside my burgers. So let me slide this across. I'm gonna go ahead and throw my garlic in. I'm going to chop my pecans. This is my handy dandy tool. You can use a knife or you could buy chopped pecans. And once again, I could throw them in like this, but someone would have a large chunk of pecan. And I want the mixture to be pretty uniform. Have some stuck there. If you don't have pecans, use walnuts. We are here in Georgia where there are lots of pecans, and it was a good year for them. And pecans have a very healthy fat in them. These are really good for you. Healthy fats and fiber. This is a heart-healthy dish. Going to throw in our flaxseed. Like I said, a quarter cup of this is ground flaxseed. So I buy flax seeds whole and I keep them in the freezer. And then what I do is I have a coffee grinder that's just for spices. And so I grind what I need for the week and put that in the freezer as well. It can go rancid fairly quickly. And this is a great source of omega-3 fatty acids. And so you want to make sure you get this for a healthy heart. Some people take fish oil, or you could take flaxseed, eat flax seeds. Okay, so then I have my parsley. And I'm going to just pull those leaves off the stems. That's a really big stem for parsley. I could save that for parsley tea, which is really good for kidney health. And I could use my knife to do this. And if you don't have fresh parsley, if it's hard for you to find, then you could use dried parsley. I would probably use a couple of tablespoons of dried parsley if you don't have fresh. If you have fresh, just a really good handful of stems. And then pull all the leaves off, and that's what we're going to use. This dark green color tells us that it is packed full of minerals and chlorophyll, which is wonderful for our blood. And I could put onion in here. Sometimes onion, fresh onion, has such a strong flavor that I saute it before I put it in a burger. But I'm not gonna. I don't want to. I'm lazy and don't want to have a lot of cleanup, and so I'm roasting the beets, cooking the beans because I didn't buy canned. Could have bought canned, and then I'm just gonna throw everything in here in the food processor. It's gonna sit for about 15 minutes. Those flax seeds are gonna swell when the moisture from the roasted beets and lentils is combined in there. And so we're gonna let it sit. This acts as an egg. So we're gonna let it sit for about 15 minutes and then we'll form our patties and then bake them. And you could use a knife. Once again, I like to play with my food. So I like to touch and feel food, fabric when I walk through the store. Okay. Chop parsley. And you could use whatever spices you like. I like the onion flavors. That's why I'm picking onion powder to put in here. Half a teaspoon. And a half a teaspoon. I'm using pink Himalayan salt. I like the minerals that are in there. All right. We'll let the beets continue cooking and the lentils, and as soon as they are cool enough to touch, I'll get right back with you. Okay, my beets are out of the oven, and I'm a little loopy. So I said 20 minutes, it took an hour. I'm used to chopping them and roasting them, not roasting them whole. It takes an hour. So 375 for an hour until they are fork tender. So a fork should be able to go in easily. Okay, so here are our beets. We already have our ingredients in here, and so I'm going to cut them. Beautiful color. I'm leaving the skin on because I want all of those nutrients. Still a little hot. Maybe a lot bit hot. Okay, and then, so I used 1 cup of dried lentils to make this bowl of lentils. This bowl is I'm going to use it throughout the week. So I could use it tonight with dinner with some vegetables and some rice. But what I'll probably do is put a scoop on my salads each day. This is a great source of protein, and so this will put really high quality proteins into my lunches each day. Okay, so I just scooped out with a slotted spoon 1 cup of lentils. So I'm going to add that to our food processor. So let me move everything out of the way. That is hot. All right, so here is the food processor. I'm going to pulse it a few times and then run it. I'm going to scrape down the side. Smells so good. So here is what it looks like right now. And pulse it a little bit more. Scrape it down again and then let it sit. So that the flax seeds kind of congeal and so they'll stick together. So I'll be right back with you. Okay, our beet mixture has been sitting for about 15 minutes. I could have also put it in a bowl and stuck it in the refrigerator during this time, and that would have been fine. It would keep. You could do it the day before and then mix it up. So I have a 1/3 measuring cup, and I'm going to fill the cup just so I can make them all kind of even. And then see if I can plop it down. There we go. And press it. And we want it kind of flat. It is going to dye my fingers red or pink. There we go. So excited. It smells so good. So these are burgers that are full of vitamins and minerals and fiber. So I put my lentils in the refrigerator and I was thinking I'm going to turn that into a hummus, a lentil hummus. I'm really big into cook once, eat 2-3 times. So we're going to have our burgers, we'll have some hummus, and I'll have beans on my salads for the week. All right, so these are really good sized burgers. Let's see, about 4 or 5 inches in diameter, so that's pretty good. See if I can get 6 of them. Might not have room on my parchment paper. So once again, I'm lining my pan with parchment paper. Oven is preheated at 375 degrees. My hand is red. To wear some gloves. When you do this, all right, look at there, 6 burgers. This one's slightly smaller. There we go. They look and smell delicious. I'm gonna bake these for 30 minutes and then take them out of the oven. They do freeze well, so I could make them and save them for later. We probably won't eat all of them at once, and so we'll eat some, freeze some, and then eat them for lunch one day. Okay, here are Beet Burgers. It's really hot. See if I can scoop one up. See, it comes off. Perfect. So 30 minutes for $3.75. And there's our Beet Burger. Enjoy.